Hi everyone. Okay, so today I'll be talking about DNA Painter. Uh, well, just like in my previous video when I mentioned about the ethnicity segments and on DNA Painter, the reason I will start with DNA Painter first is because I think it'll be more important to post this first, as people will be more keen to knowing and what to do or what to find. Okay, so once you get all your data or you collect data from the other websites mentioned where they display a chromosome browser, you can copy and paste the details from that segment of your DNA match, go into paint a new match, and then it will basically go to this. It will say this, save match now, and then basically it will save it all. Okay. And then from there, once you have collected all the DNA matches over time, because this doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while. I've been doing this since 2018 and it has been a long way. And with the help of these resourceful tools, you know what? I literally got where I needed to be basically. Okay. So basically once you have collected all that data, you'll be able to tell, so this chromosome 2, just hang on a sec, let me just, these are just tools that I just don't want names mentioned, yeah, we go. Okay, with chromosome 2, here, you can see that there's a whole row of colorful segments here, okay. These were all one by one, like the remnant, I'm calling them the remnant segments because I wasn't sure where to place them. All I know, even though I put this in shed and both, I think it generally comes from my mother's side. And in turn, it was coming up from my grandmother's side, I think. From what I've seen on family tree DNA I picked up on, I generally do believe that it's coming from my grandmother's side. So that's how I know that by these names. I will look at the names, of course, and then from there it will be like, by looking at the areas as well, I figured out that it was actually it was European segment in terms of ethnicity wise. Obviously, if you want to show much names, you can do that as well. So that's that. These are usually pile-up regions where it's quite common for people from one. It's a bit like this one, but it's used for other ethnicity backgrounds as well. So you can see that these are my colorful segments here, right? Okay. The thing about shared or both segments, because if your family are all related to one another, sometimes you don't know which side it's coming from. So that's when you place it under shared or both. If you know where the segment's coming from, you would then place it into paternal if it's coming from your father's side of the family, or maternal if it's coming from your mother's side of the family. Okay. There's other here you can. This is all names basically here. So I had to do a quick show of that. So that once you place it, all the names that will come up there. So if you've got a group name, you can just check and click on that group and only that group will show up. Okay. So on chromosome 2, that was one example that I've showed basically of finding my European side basically. And on chromosome, so basically on chromosome 20, here, I could see that this bit here, I'm showing this bit here, it's where there was quiet people from the Turkey region. That's how I picked up. There are some other areas, but where it was quite dominant, that's where it actually showed me like that it was actually quite a common connection with Turkey, the people of Turkey. There is another group that I would actually pick up I wasn't sure what kind of tribe they belong to, actually. I wasn't sure about the chromosome 20. I wasn't sure what tribe they belonged to, but I just knew that it was coming from Turkey. Obviously, you know, when you do look at surnames and lineages like that, as I mentioned, that's how it's done, basically. And that was probably most likely coming. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. It looks like it's paternal and a bit of maternal. So there must be a common ancestor there. That's how I see it. Right, okay, there was one more area, was it segment? Yeah, okay, so this one here, around here, basically, I just know that that's a segment of Qatari connection. That's how I know that we're all overlapping with each other, basically. Obviously, this one's like the odd one out as well, so, okay. This is by looking into surnames and lineages. Just as I mentioned in my previous video, this is how I pick it up. Okay. Right, then there's I think that's pretty much most topics I've covered. But if there's any more questions, you can still ask, because I do sometimes jump. Just thinking if there's anything I need to say. Right, okay. Let's jump into the X chromosome. So the thing about X chromosome, I wasn't aware which side this was coming from, because this one belongs to my cousin, as I'm related to them on both sides of my family. So I wasn't sure which side to put it on. And these two, I wasn't sure which side it goes on. The only way I could usually tell is if it correlates with the other segments as well sometimes. And it's not always the case, but it's best to do your research in detail. I will keep saying that. So you can see this is my father's side. The X chromosome that's carried from my father, of course. This is the family, and I could tell that they were also all related to one another as well. And that obviously would maybe think that's coming from my grandmother, as in my father's mother. Because the X chromosome only comes from the mother of the father, like as in my grandparent. If that makes sense. And then there's the maternal